All right, we were talking about the types of note taking while attending a lecture. There are two types of note taking activity that you have to do while attending a lecture. The first one is before the start of lecture. When a person enters during the lecture, how he can do this activity? A person who is not with the teacher, even the very first moment at the beginning of lecture, he will lose so many things. He will just will be deprived of that. What is that? Now when you enter in the class and the lecture is not started yet and the teacher announces the topic that we are going to discuss today, now there is a prior knowledge saved in the word of your consciousness. You can recall back that what you already know and what is the gap, what new you should learn. You should take notes on your register, on your beautiful a new page. You should write all those points which you already know about about those topic which the teacher is going to deliver lecture on. Then after noting down those points which you already know, now you should write down your questions in your minds. What do you expect from this lecture today? Why to do this type of activity? Do you know? To make the brain active. Otherwise, brain will be exhausted. It will be preoccupied, obsessed by so many unnecessary thoughts and things and feelings and emotions. Might be negative thinking, might be overthinking. It might be that you are hurt by someone and you are so much disturbed. It might be from your life partner, your spouse, your siblings, your children, your parents, your teachers, your class fellows, everyone can be there. So when your mind is overoccupied by other unnecessary things, your mind is not ready to catch something new, to activate the cells of your brain. You must first write few questions on a beautiful new page of your register. So you're not having a register in the classroom, you're not having a pen with you, your whole page is empty. How can you expect that you are going to learn something? Then it becomes a stress. When in the nights of exams you're overstressed, what I have to do, you ask your friends to help you and they don't help and you get more depressed then. So the thing that is needed is just to be attentive. People put a lot of time in their studies. You don't need to put a lot of time in your studies. You just need to be active during just the study hours when you're attending a lecture. If you pay your full attention during a lecture, you don't need to pay any extra time in your studies after the class. Everything will be fine. So think about the topics, the information, the definitions, the ideas that you already have in your mind about the topic which is going to be discussed in that lecture. Now, after that, put few questions that arise in your mind regarding that topic which is going to be discussed in that class. This is the activity that you must do before the start of the lecture. Now, the second thing is taking notes during a lecture. When you are attending the lecture, you must define an outline of the lecture, which topics are going to be discussed. There can be topics and there can be subtopics. Like a teacher is going to talk about the discourse analysis, the main concerns of the discourse analyst. He might be talking about the context, he might be talking about the referentiality, he might be talking about the sequentiality, the script, he might be talking about the rhetorical forces of the utterances, about the different concerns of discourse analysis. But under each term, like context, you find the genre, you find the situation or scene, you find maybe the tenor, field, or the mode of the text. These are the subtopics, and under each topic the teacher might share some few example of utterances where you have to put the examples. This is a wonderful art. Most extraordinary and effective students and who work better in using very small energy and small time, that is what we call to do smart work. They make their notes effectively in a beautiful way, in an organized way, use a beautiful writing for making notes, use different marker or different colors pen to highlight and signify the different topics and subtopics to create a difference between topics and the subtopics, and using other devices as well. For a detailed study of which type of techniques you need to use during the lecture or before the lecture, you must go through the book of study skills by Michael J. Wallace, especially its chapter on the note taking. That is a wonderful activity. And you cannot become a master of note taking just in one day or night. You have to put a lot of time. You have to put a lot of time You have to put a lot of struggle to achieve, to master this beautiful quality of taking notes. Just going through some content, just passing through some material, you cannot be master or good enough in taking notes after understanding the theoretical framework or the theories or the ideas or the strategies of note taking. You need a lot of effort. In the beginning, it will be hard for you. If you're not habitual of taking notes in the beginning, it might be a difficult task for you to take notes during the lecture or reading a book. In the beginning, you have to put an effort. You know, the first time when you learned how to drive a car, you had to put effort. You had to be conscious of what's going on. You were so alert while driving a motorbike or heavy bike, but now you are habitual to that. You are no more psychologically present which foot you have to put on the brake and clutch and other things, and how to handle the handle of your motorbike or the steering of your car. Everything about you are not so conscious about that. Same is the thing with all the study skills. In the beginning, when you want to change up your study patterns, it will require effort to make effective notes, thinking about which type of things you must take notes and which type of things you should omit while taking notes. In the beginning, you have to put effort into that. But with the passage of time, you will not be able to help taking notes. Yes, really, it will become a taste of your life. It will become your aesthetic habit. You will enjoy it. You will become crazy or passionate about taking beautiful notes. Very few students in our classrooms today, when I go through the classes and the students, I pass through them, on their registers they have wonderful notes. They beautifully organize their content. And when you are attending a lecture and taking notes, do not fill up the whole page. When you write a heading, leave 1 or 2, 3 paragraph space. When you will go back to your home or go to library, you will read more about those topics. You may find new points. You may find new wonderful points about your topics. So after reading or going through those new points, you might be in the need of adding them as well in your notes. So fill up those empty spaces with your new readings, with your new findings on the topic. Teacher's lecture is not enough for learning. At a university or undergraduate or graduate level, teacher means a resource person, an instructor who guides you what to read, where to read, how to read, who gives you few basic concepts of the topic. The rest of that is left for you. Now it's you. Up to what extent you can go, it's all up to you. Teacher teaches equally. He gives just few points. He uses short words. He gives only clues. Teacher is not meant to teach you each and every line. The teacher is not one who teaches. Teacher is the one who teaches how to read. Teacher is not one who makes you learn, but the teacher is one who teaches you the skills how to learn. The meaning of teacher is not to impart each and everything. Teacher is not supposed to deliver all the knowledge that he has into your heart and mind. You have to do it actively. You have to participate in it. You have to struggle for it. The things which people achieved by working hard cannot be achieved by us just for the sake of desire, that we want that. We should not be gifted those things to us. It's the universal law of nature. For achieving something, you have to make struggle. So, what is the struggle and how to do struggle? You have to do the struggle strategically for your effective studies, for achieving great marks and good proficiencies. You don't need to be just putting a lot of time and making a lot of effort on so much stuff without having good strategies with you. Just refine and polish your study skills. Refine them. Learn the skills how to do work smartly. So note taking is one of the most beautiful study skill that is not prevailing in our prevailing society in the contemporary times. So come out of an addiction and your over dependence on the digital resources and mobile phones. Use pen and paper with you. So there is also another note-taking activity we call group note-taking. When a lot of students, they sit together, they ponder over different matters. So they might have a different registers or papers in their hands. Everyone thinks about, everyone listens differently. The same lecture attended by thousands of students or 100 students, everyone will perceive the words differently. Everyone has a different cultural, psychological, emotional, and educational, intellectual background. Everyone, we code the words of a lecture differently, so everyone makes notes. The group should share the notes with each other to get the many different point of views by different minds. This mutual sharing and learning is also missing in our, especially Pakistani universities and educational institutes. In our country, we must do it. It's also a universal phenomena. People have jealousy, people have over competition, people have a race to win. Don't be a part of the race to win. Just try to be an effective learner. Just try to be a great learner. Do not focus on achieving the gold medal. Do not focus on achieving great marks. Try to achieve the quality of learning. Try to make it a pleasure of your heart. When you are successful to learn something, you have properly understood an idea or a phenomena or a concept, there is an immense pleasure that comes out of true learning. Try to achieve that immense pleasure at the cost of everything you have to pay. There are only two things that the world is pleasurable for us to. Imam al-Ghazali, the great Muslim philosopher, wrote in this beautiful book Minhajul Abidin, just to do, I think this book was the end of his life. Imam al-Ghazali presented the whole central idea of all his teachings and books into that short book. In Arabic it was published, Minhajul Abidin, and there are many different, the book has been translated into many languages, and he talked about two things: the ibadah, the worshipping, and the second thing was the knowledge. The whole life, the best of the things, two things that you can do. Ibadah does not just mean the prayer and the things like that. It's just to please the heart of others, others, helping the oppressed and poor. The ibadah, there are so many meanings in that of ibadah. How you can make your worldly things, you can transfer them with the power of your intention into ibadah. And Muslim scholars have taught so many things about that. Anyhow, the other thing Imam al-Ghazali mentioned is knowledge and learning. So there is all rubbish around the world except these two things. The later of the thing, the second thing, is our primary focus of studies, and that is the primary focus of all my lecturing and discussions that I am having with all of you. That is knowledge and learning. Personally, for me, and what I want to see in my children, in my students, in my family and friend circle, the one thing that gives an immense pleasure is I want to burn my life for learning and knowledge. There is nothing so pleasurable for me in the life, that there is no better cause for me to live in this universe but being myself too busy with my studies and learning. Knowledge and learning is the only thing that can be a true meaning of our life on this planet. But with good and effective reading and study skills, you can make your study an amazing experience. You can really make it a wonderful art. You can really make your study a game of genius, not a burden, not a stress. All right, this was all. Hope so. We shall study many other things. We shall learn many other study skills in the next discussion. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take care.